Throughout human history, the concept of an underworld, a realm beyond death where souls reside, has captivated our imaginations. This fascination is evident in the myriad of stories and myths that have been passed down through the ages, each culture adding its own unique twist to the narrative. From the ancient Egyptians to the Greeks, cultures across time and space have woven intricate tales of this mysterious place. The Egyptians envisioned a complex afterlife journey, while the Greeks spoke of the river Styx and the ferryman Charon, who transported souls to the underworld. These stories, passed down through generations, reflect our deepest fears and desires, our yearning to understand what lies beyond the veil of life. Around fires and in sacred texts, these tales have been told and retold, each time adding layers of meaning and interpretation. The underworld is often depicted as a subterranean realm, shrouded in darkness and ruled by powerful deities. These realms are not just places of punishment, but also of transformation and rebirth, where souls undergo trials and tribulations. In Greek mythology, Hades, the god of the underworld, presided over the souls of the departed. His domain was a place of both dread and inevitability, where the living had to confront the reality of death. The Egyptians believed in the judgment of the dead in the Hall of Two Truths, where Anubis, the jackal-headed god, weighed their hearts against the feather of Maat. This process determined their fate in the afterlife, a concept that underscored the importance of living a righteous life. These myths, while diverse in their details, share a common thread: the belief in a continued existence after death, a place where we might reunite with loved ones and face judgment for our deeds in life. This shared belief speaks to a universal human hope, that death is not the end, but a transition to another form of existence, where the essence of who we are continues to endure. The dawn of the scientific revolution brought with it a new lens through which to view the world, one grounded in observation, experimentation, and the pursuit of empirical evidence. This period marked a significant shift from the reliance on ancient texts and philosophical reasoning to a more hands-on approach, where the natural world was interrogated through systematic investigation. Antoine Lavoisier, a French chemist considered the father of modern chemistry, embodied this spirit of inquiry. His work was characterized by a relentless quest for knowledge and a commitment to precision and accuracy in scientific endeavors. In the late 18th century, Lavoisier conducted groundbreaking experiments that revolutionized our understanding of combustion and the conservation of mass. His meticulous approach to experimentation set new standards for scientific research, emphasizing the importance of careful measurement and detailed record-keeping. One of Lavoisier's most famous experiments involved burning substances in closed containers. This method allowed him to observe the reactions in a controlled environment, minimizing external variables that could affect the results. By carefully measuring the mass of the reactants before and after combustion, he demonstrated that the total mass remained constant, even though the substances underwent a dramatic transformation. This was a pivotal moment in the history of science, as it provided concrete evidence for the law of conservation of mass. This principle, known as the law of conservation of mass, challenged the prevailing theory of phlogiston, a hypothetical substance believed to be released during combustion. Lavoisier's findings debunked this long-held belief, showing that combustion was a chemical reaction involving oxygen rather than the release of phlogiston. Lavoisier's meticulous experiments and rigorous analysis paved the way for a new era of scientific understanding, one based on quantifiable data and reproducible results. His legacy lives on in the principles of modern chemistry, inspiring generations of scientists to approach their work with the same level of dedication and precision. The concept of the soul, an intangible essence that defines our being, has long been intertwined with questions of consciousness and the afterlife. Throughout history, philosophers, theologians, and scientists have pondered the nature of the soul and its connection to our conscious experience. While science has made remarkable strides in understanding the biological basis of consciousness, the nature of the soul remains elusive. Despite advances in neuroscience, the question of whether the soul exists independently of the brain or is merely a byproduct of its functions continues to baffle researchers. Some scientists argue that consciousness is an emergent property of the brain, a complex phenomenon arising from the intricate network of neurons and electrical impulses. This view posits that our thoughts, emotions, and sense of self are all products of brain activity. This perspective suggests that when we die, our consciousness, like a flickering flame extinguished, ceases to exist. The cessation of brain activity marks the end of our conscious experience, leaving no room for an afterlife or continued existence of the soul. However, others propose that consciousness may be a fundamental aspect of the universe, not simply a product of our physical brains. This idea opens up the possibility that consciousness could persist beyond physical death, existing in a different form or dimension. This idea, reminiscent of Plato's theory of forms, suggests that consciousness exists independently of the material world and that our brains act as receivers or filters for this universal consciousness. According to this view, our individual consciousnesses are part of a larger, interconnected whole. While intriguing, this notion remains speculative and lacks empirical support. The debate continues, with both sides presenting compelling arguments but no definitive answers. As our understanding of the brain and consciousness evolves, we may one day uncover the true nature of the soul and its place in the universe. In 1907, Dr. Duncan MacDougall, a physician from Haverhill, Massachusetts, conducted a controversial experiment that aimed to measure the weight of the soul. MacDougall hypothesized that if the soul were a real entity, it must have some measurable mass. To test his theory, he weighed 6 terminally ill patients immediately before and after death, using a sensitive industrial scale. MacDougall's results were met with both intrigue and skepticism. He reported an average weight loss of 21 grams at the moment of death, which he attributed to the departure of the soul. However, his experiment has been widely criticized for its small sample size, methodological flaws, and lack of proper controls. Factors such as the evaporation of bodily fluids and the release of air from the lungs could have easily accounted for the observed weight loss. Section 5. The scientific verdict. No evidence for an underworld. Despite centuries of speculation and numerous attempts to prove its existence, the underworld, as depicted in myths and religions, remains outside the realm of scientific validation. The scientific method, with its emphasis on empirical evidence, testable hypotheses, and falsifiable claims, has yet to find any concrete proof to support the existence of an underworld, a soul, or any form of consciousness that persists after death. This is not to say that such things are impossible, but rather that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The burden of proof lies on those who claim the existence of the supernatural to provide convincing evidence that meets the rigorous standards of scientific inquiry. Until such evidence is presented and independently verified, the scientific community remains unconvinced. Section 6. Exploring the unknown, the limits of science. It is essential to acknowledge the inherent limitations of science. The scientific method, while a powerful tool for understanding the natural world, is not equipped to answer every question, particularly those concerning the metaphysical or the supernatural. Science operates within the realm of the observable and the measurable, seeking to explain phenomena through natural laws and empirical data. The concept of an underworld, by its very nature, lies beyond the reach of scientific investigation. We cannot travel to the underworld, measure its dimensions, or analyze its composition using scientific instruments. This does not render the question of the afterlife meaningless or irrelevant. It simply means that science, at least in its current state, cannot provide definitive answers. Section 7. The power of belief, comfort in uncertainty. The belief in an afterlife, whether rooted in religious faith or personal conviction, can provide comfort, hope, and a sense of purpose for many people. It offers solace in the face of grief and loss, assuring us that our loved ones are not truly gone, but have simply transitioned to another realm. The human need for meaning and connection is deeply ingrained in our psyche. The belief in an afterlife can fulfill this need, providing a framework for understanding our place in the universe and our relationship to something greater than ourselves. While science may not be able to prove or disprove the existence of an underworld, it does not diminish the profound impact that such beliefs have on the lives of countless individuals. Section 8. The human experience, life, death, and the search for meaning. The question of what happens after we die is perhaps one of the oldest and most enduring mysteries of the human experience. It is a question that has captivated philosophers, theologians, and scientists for millennia, and one that continues to spark debate and ignite our imaginations. While science may not have all the answers, it can offer valuable insights into the nature of life, death, and the universe we inhabit. By understanding the laws of physics, the principles of biology, and the vastness of time and space, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the preciousness of life and the interconnectedness of all things. Section 9. Conclusion: A universe of mysteries. As we stand on the precipice of the 21st century, armed with the tools of science and driven by an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, we continue to explore the vast unknown. The universe, in all its splendor and complexity, holds countless secrets yet to be unraveled. The question of whether we reunite with loved ones in an underworld after death remains unanswered, a testament to the enduring power of mystery and the limits of our current understanding. While science may not be able to provide definitive proof, it encourages us to approach the unknown with curiosity, skepticism, and an open mind, always seeking evidence and embracing the wonders that the universe